Arthur Morgan's encounters with the Murfree Brood in Red Dead Redemption 2 represent one of the darkest and most unsettling chapters of his journey, because they force him to confront a form of evil that has nothing to do with outlaw codes, loyalty, or survival. The Murfree Brood are not rivals chasing money or lawmen enforcing order. They are a deeply broken, feral family that embodies what happens when civilization completely collapses. Arthur's interactions with them highlight the stark contrast between the Vanderlinde gang's warped sense of morality and a world where humanity has been entirely stripped away. The Murfree Brood inhabit Roanoke Ridge, a region deliberately designed to feel hostile, isolated, and oppressive. Arthur's first encounters with them often come through ambushes, disturbing environmental storytelling, or unsettling discoveries like mutilated corpses and booby-trapped paths. These moments are important because they remove any illusion that Arthur can reason, negotiate, or intimidate his way out of danger. Against the Murfrees, Arthur is not an outlaw dealing with criminals. He is a survivor facing something closer to monsters shaped by neglect, isolation, and generational violence. What makes Arthur's conflict with the Murfree Brood so compelling is how it reframes his own identity. Arthur knows he has done terrible things, but the Murfrees force him to recognize a difference between moral failure and total moral absence. The Murfree Brood do not steal to survive or kill for profit. They torture, mutilate, and murder for pleasure, tradition, and dominance. Arthur's dialogue and reactions during these encounters often carry a tone of disgust rather than anger, signaling that even by his standards, this is wrong beyond justification. Arthur's role becomes less about criminality and more about containment. When he clears Murfree camps, rescues captives, or investigates their territory, it feels closer to exterminating a threat than participating in outlaw violence. This distinction matters thematically. The game uses the Murfree Brood to show Arthur that the world is not simply divided into lawmen and criminals. There are depths of cruelty that exist outside those categories, and confronting them reinforces Arthur's evolving moral awareness as the story progresses. The Murfrees also deepen Arthur's internal reckoning with civilization and decay. Dutch often romanticizes freedom from society, arguing that laws corrupt and civilization suffocates the human spirit. The Murfree Brood are the ultimate rebuttal to that philosophy. They are what total freedom from structure becomes when empathy, community, and accountability disappear. Arthur never says this outright, but his actions speak volumes. By wiping out Murfree hideouts and protecting innocents from them, Arthur implicitly rejects the idea that chaos is preferable to order. These encounters are especially powerful because they strip away any sense of glory. There is no triumph in defeating the Murfrees, no satisfying victory music or celebration. Instead, there is silence, decay, and the lingering feeling that some damage cannot be undone. Arthur's journal entries and reflective moments reinforce this tone, emphasizing discomfort rather than pride. The Murfrees are not enemies to be conquered, they are a warning. Arthur's growing illness adds another layer to these confrontations. As he becomes more aware of his mortality, his encounters with the Murfree Brood feel increasingly symbolic. They represent a life completely devoid of reflection, change, or redemption. Arthur, in contrast, is actively questioning his past and searching for meaning in his remaining time. This contrast sharpens his resolve to protect others, even if he cannot save himself. In the end, Arthur Morgan's encounters with the Murfree Brood serve a crucial narrative purpose. They define the outer boundary of morality in Red Dead Redemption 2. By showing Arthur a version of humanity that has abandoned compassion entirely, the game reinforces his capacity for conscience, restraint, and growth. The Murfree Brood are not just terrifying enemies. They are the mirror Arthur refuses to become, and their existence helps clarify why his final choices matter so deeply. Arthur's encounters with the Murfree Brood also reshape how he views fear itself. Unlike other enemies in Red Dead Redemption 2, the Murfrees do not posture or threaten with words. They rely on silence, sudden violence, and psychological terror. Arthur is often forced to navigate their territory slowly, listening for whispers, traps, and distant movement. This constant tension reinforces the idea that some dangers cannot be confronted head-on with bravado or confidence. Even Arthur, a seasoned gunslinger, must move cautiously, which subtly humbles him and reinforces the vulnerability he increasingly feels as the story progresses. These moments also affect how the player experiences Arthur's humanity. When Arthur rescues victims from Murfree captivity, or reacts with visible anger and disgust to their actions, it highlights his protective instincts and moral clarity. He is no longer just surviving for the gang, he is actively rejecting cruelty for cruelty's sake. In this way, the Murfree Brood strengthen Arthur's moral arc by forcing him to define what he stands against, not just what he believes in. In those final encounters, Arthur's actions feel purposeful rather than routine. Every Murfree threat he eliminates is a small stand against a world sliding into darkness,